The year is 1888. London, a city of contrasts, is bustling with life and industry. Yet, beneath the surface of progress and prosperity, a dark undercurrent flows through the streets of Whitechapel. The gaslights of London flicker, casting long shadows on the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel. These streets, often shrouded in fog, are a maze of narrow alleys and hidden corners, perfect for those who wish to remain unseen. Fear is a constant companion. It seeps into the very air, thick and choking like the smog. The residents of Whitechapel live in a state of perpetual unease, their lives overshadowed by the ever-present threat of violence. For in the labyrinthine alleys, a nightmare walks. His name, whispered in hushed tones, is Jack the Ripper. He is a phantom, a ghostly figure who strikes without warning and vanishes into the night. 5 women, all living in the shadow of poverty, fall victim to the Ripper's blade. These women, struggling to survive in the harsh conditions of Victorian London, become the targets of his brutal attacks. Their lives, already marked by hardship, are brutally cut short. The community mourns their loss, but the fear and uncertainty only grow stronger with each new victim. The newspapers are filled with gruesome details. Sensational headlines scream from the front pages, feeding the public's morbid curiosity and spreading panic throughout the city. The city holds its breath, waiting for the next horrific discovery. Every shadow, every stranger becomes a potential threat. The people of London are gripped by a collective paranoia, their trust in the safety of their streets shattered. Police scramble for answers, chasing shadows in the night. They patrol the streets, their lanterns casting flickering light on the dark corners where danger lurks. Despite their efforts, the Ripper remains one step ahead, always just out of reach. But Jack the Ripper, a phantom in the fog, remains elusive. He slips through their fingers like smoke, leaving behind only the grisly evidence of his deeds. His reign of terror is short, but the scars he leaves on London's psyche are deep. The fear he instills lingers long after his last known victim, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the human soul. He vanishes as quickly as he appeared, leaving behind a chilling legacy of unsolved murders. The mystery of his identity becomes a topic of endless speculation and debate, captivating the public's imagination for generations to come. The question of his true identity becomes a macabre puzzle, one that continues to haunt us even now. Detectives and historians alike pore over the scant clues, hoping to unmask the elusive killer. Yet despite their efforts, Jack the Ripper remains an enigma, a dark figure shrouded in mystery and fear. Was Jack the Ripper gone forever? Or was there something else? Across the Atlantic, a different kind of evil takes root. The late 19th century was a time of great change and progress, but it was also a time when darkness could easily hide in the shadows of innovation. In the bustling city of Chicago, as America prepares to celebrate its progress at the 1893 World's Fair, a monster builds his lair. The city, alive with the promise of the future, becomes the perfect hunting ground for a man with sinister intentions. His name is Herman Webster Mudgett, but the world will come to know him as Dr. H.H. Holmes. A man of many faces, Holmes presents himself as a respectable doctor, a successful businessman and a charming gentleman. Holmes, a charismatic conman with a chillingly blank gaze, constructs a hotel unlike any other. His charm and intelligence mask a deeply disturbed mind, capable of unimaginable cruelty. It becomes known as the Murder Castle. This 3-story building, with its grand exterior, hides a nightmarish reality within. Behind its ornate facade lies a labyrinth of secret passages, hidden rooms, and gruesome traps. Holmes designed the hotel with a twisted ingenuity, creating a place where he could carry out his dark deeds undetected. The World's Fair draws crowds from all corners of the globe. People come to marvel at the wonders of the modern age, unaware of the horrors lurking just a few blocks away. Many guests, lured by Holmes's charm and promises of affordable lodging, check into his hotel. They are drawn in by the allure of the World's Fair and the promise of a comfortable stay. But for many, it will be their final destination. The hotel's maze-like design ensures that once inside, escape is nearly impossible. Holmes, driven by a seemingly insatiable bloodlust, preys on his guests, turning their dreams of adventure into nightmares. His methods are as varied as they are gruesome. From suffocation chambers to acid vats, each room in the murder castle serves a deadly purpose. Eventually, Holmes's reign of terror comes to an end. The authorities, piecing together the disappearances and strange occurrences, finally uncover the true nature of the murder castle. Holmes is brought to trial, where his heinous crimes are laid bare for the world to see. The trial captivates the nation, revealing the depths of his depravity. In the end, Holmes meets his fate on the gallows, but the legacy of his evil endures. The story of H.H. Holmes and his House of Horrors remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind even the most charming facade. Today, the site of the murder castle is a reminder of the past, a place where history and horror intersect. The tale of H.H. Holmes continues to fascinate and terrify, a dark chapter in the story of a city that once celebrated the future. The Atlantic Ocean in the late 19th century was a formidable barrier, but not an insurmountable one. It was a vast expanse of water that separated the old world from the new, a daunting challenge for those who dared to cross it. Yet for many it was a journey worth taking, a voyage filled with hope and the promise of new beginnings. Ships laden with cargo and dreams traversed the waves, connecting the continents. These vessels were the lifelines of commerce and communication, carrying goods, people, and ideas across the ocean. They were the arteries of a growing global network, linking distant lands and cultures in ways that had never been possible before. Could a passenger, harboring dark secrets, have made the journey? Among the throngs of hopeful immigrants and adventurous travelers, could there have been someone with a more sinister purpose? Someone who sought to escape their past and start anew in a land of opportunity, or perhaps to continue their dark deeds in a new setting? Could Jack the Ripper, having sown terror in London, have slipped away to America, transforming into H.H. Holmes? The idea is both chilling and intriguing. Jack the Ripper, the infamous serial killer who terrorized the streets of London in the late 1880s, was never caught. His identity remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Could he have fled to America, reinventing himself as H.H. Holmes, the notorious murderer who built a murder castle in Chicago? The timelines, though not a perfect match, offer a tantalizing possibility. Jack the Ripper's last known murder was in 1888, and H.H. Holmes was active in Chicago around the same time. There are gaps in the historical records, periods where the whereabouts of both men are unknown. Could these gaps be the key to unlocking the mystery? Jack the Ripper's reign of terror in London ends in 1888. His brutal murders shocked the world and left a lasting scar on the city. Despite numerous investigations and countless theories, his true identity was never discovered. He seemed to vanish into thin air, leaving behind only fear and speculation. Holmes, meanwhile, is known to have been active in Chicago throughout the late 1880s and early 1890s. He was a charismatic and cunning man, a master of deception who lured his victims into his elaborate trap. His murder castle was a house of horrors filled with secret passages, hidden rooms, and deadly traps. There are gaps in his known whereabouts, periods shrouded in mystery. Holmes was a man of many aliases and identities, constantly on the move to avoid detection. He was a skilled manipulator, able to blend into any environment and disappear without a trace. These gaps in his timeline raise questions about where he might have been and what he might have been doing. Could he have used this time to travel, perhaps even to indulge in a spree of killings across the ocean? The idea of a transatlantic killer moving between continents and identities is a chilling one. It suggests a level of cunning and resourcefulness that is truly terrifying. It also raises the possibility that there may have been other victims, other crimes that have yet to be discovered. The idea of a transatlantic killer moving between continents and identities is a chilling one. It speaks to the power of anonymity. the ease with which one could disappear in the crowds of a bustling city. In the late 19th century, the world was a much larger place, and it was easier to vanish without a trace. A clever and determined individual could reinvent themselves, leaving their past behind and starting anew in a different country. It speaks to the power of anonymity, the ease with which one could disappear in the crowds of a bustling city. In the teeming streets of London or Chicago, a person could easily blend in, becoming just another face in the crowd. This anonymity provided a perfect cover for someone with dark intentions, allowing them to move freely and carry out their plans without arousing suspicion. And it adds another layer of intrigue to the already enigmatic figures of Jack and Holmes. Both men were masters of disguise and deception, able to elude capture and maintain their secrets. The possibility that they could be the same person, moving between continents and identities, adds a new dimension to their stories. It challenges our understanding of these infamous killers and invites us to reconsider the evidence in a new light. Please like and subscribe for more dark true crime chronicles.